Hello, Nigel. How are you
Hello.
today?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've just been watching Cobra Kai. Anyway, um, so you've got a new album coming out.
Yes.
How long have you been working on this album? How long has it been in the works for you?
Um, well, I started it really at Christmas last year because we were talking about doing well, we've been talking for a while about trying to do a Sleeping Souls record, and we tried a few different ways of doing things which hadn't come together. And then somebody suggested that we all go away over the Christmas break and come up with stuff on our own, and then kind of see if we could amalgamate it into a whole band thing. So I went away and did a bunch of songs. Nobody else did, actually, but I did. So I put together eight, 9 ideas, and but it was never. I presented it to them, and everybody kind of went, yeah, but even when I was making them, it was like, this isn't going to make sense in doing this with Sleeping Souls, because it just sounds like the Sad Song Co, because I'm doing it on my own.
Because it is the Sad Song Co.
Yeah, and that's so it came out sounding like that. So I presented it to them, and maybe, 1 or 2 ideas, people kind of went maybe, but and then once we got into lockdown, I figured I don't want to just let all this stuff go to waste, because some of it I was like, there was a couple of songs where I was like, that's strong stuff. So I worked on developing all of that, and a few new bits and pieces, and then I had an album. So I thought, well, I'm gonna have to release it. I kind of decided a while back that I wasn't going to do any more Sad Song Co records, but I got tricked into it, and now here's another Sad Song Co record.
Well,
Hooray.
good. It's a good album, so I'm glad you got tricked into it. I especially like the first one, the instrumental. That was really good. I'm gonna stop being nice to you now. Yeah.
It's just weird. It's making me uncomfortable.
Are you happy to see that the album's come together after working on it for so long?
Yeah, I mean, I'd finished writing it and recording it for the most part by quite a while ago, like maybe June. I think I thought I'd finished everything, and then and I kind of approached people to mix it because I never trusted my mixing skills. And as I was going through that process, I actually ended up writing another song, which was My Saccharine.
A good song. A good song.
Yeah, I like that one. That's the single that's out at the moment, if such things still exist. And so kind of, and then I finished that off, and then I took a while to mix it myself, because I couldn't. Anybody who I thought would do a really good job was too expensive for me to justify spending the money. So I ended up doing it myself. No, I'm really pleased with how it sounds. Actually, it's the kind of best, most consistently mixed album that I've done. And then, apart from that, there's been the kind of final, 3-4 months of last year was just getting stuff set up to release it. I was kind of umming and ahhing. I was just going to dump it out without much fanfare onto Bandcamp. But then I thought, I'm actually really proud of it, and so I'll get people to try and take it to the press, take it to the radio, and see what I can do. And doing any of that means you have to push it further down the line, because it gives those kind of people time to work. So.
Yeah. And it gives you something to do as well during lockdown, like all
Absolutely.
your lives, which have been entertaining to watch on a Wednesday evening.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose stretching out the whole process has been a good thing, but it's given me something to stop me going completely insane. Yeah, and doing the Instagram lives is I've been kind of going between playing songs, which is fine and I enjoy it, and also chatting to people in the industry in a way that interests me. I haven't been too concerned about whether it interests anybody else. Hopefully, if it interests me, there'll be somebody out there. So.
Well, I found them quite interesting, especially the ones with Andy York.
Yeah, the Andy York one's good. Tomorrow night, I'm actually talking to a guy from Oxford who did sound for Ember of the Truth, lovely chap, but then went on to really being about as successful as you can be in the doing sound side of the industry. So I'm hoping that'll be an interesting chat.
Yeah, well, I'll be there, probably. Unless I'm not there, and then I won't be there.
Well,
So,
it'll be recorded and you can be there later.
what are your 3 main inspirations in like your music?
That's an interesting question.
That's why I wrote it.
There you go. It's well written, clearly. I mean, the thing that I often find biggest inspiration from in doing all this stuff is film. It's usually not musical. It's in kind of artistic terms. I think filmically. I think I'm quite a big film buff nowadays, and in kind of structural and creative terms, I like the thing with films that there is this, there's this very plain kind of 2 levels to it. There's the artistic, exciting bit, which is what everybody watches, and I love doing that. One of my I don't particularly have superpowers, but one of my superpowers is not being able to predict what's going to happen in any film ever, even if it's the most obvious thing in the world, which I love because it means I'm surprised by every film. Loads of people go, "Oh, didn't you know that was going to happen?" I go, "No, I had no idea." So I like that layer of producing something that brings joy to people, but I also love the fact that the more skillful the filmmaker, the more invisible the huge machinery beneath that becomes. And you kind of, I mean, it's amazing when you think about it. There's this huge technical endeavor, which starts with somebody, writing a screenplay. And you can't see, when it's done well, you don't see any of that. And, it just becomes an experience. And I love that sense of being able to engineer something so well. You can engineer something quite well, and now I guess talking about a piece of music, you can put it together effectively, but you can kind of still see the scaffolding on a lot of songs. The thing that pushes me is I want to do the background bits so well that they become invisible, that you don't notice them anymore. Nobody goes, well, most people don't go into a film and kind of sit there thinking, oh, this is really well structured screenplay. I see he's got from, this definite end of Act 1 there, and now he's moved into Act 2, and I see what he's doing. This is a peak and that kind of thing. You just get drawn along into the film. And I love both aspects of it. I like watching the film and just enjoying the shit out of it. But I love reading screenplays and listening to people talk about how they put things together, and what the incredible amount of work that goes into constructing something underneath. And I guess that's a big influence on what I do as a musician. I like I like some progressive rock, for instance, and I think elements of that come through. But stylistically, I don't think anybody would mistake what I do for, Genesis or Marillion or anything like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen to your music if it sounded like Genesis.
After all those years of me forcing you to listen to it in the car. But the kind of, I do take influence from those things in how I construct what I do behind the scenes, you know, and that kind of sense of freedom sometimes. You know, sometimes it's great to go verse, chorus, middle eight, chorus, end. And sometimes it's nice to not, you know, if you're following the feel of the song, just go whichever way you want. Movies, Genesis, Marillion.
Brilliant. What a good answer. Thank you, Nigel. What's the album about? Right, is there any specific themes in there?
Yes. Now
Is it me? Is it about me?
It's not about you, no.
Well, then I don't care.
I wish all interviewers would say that. I mean, for the most part, the kind of through line of the album is about somebody I was with and was very in love with, and she's gone, and you know, it's just dealing with that, you know. So the 3 instrumental tracks are certainly, you know, when I was playing them, I was channeling that kind of thing. There are songs that aren't about that, you know, in quite such a direct way, like These Tears Won't Cry Themselves was about a friend who lost a parent, and you know, just the kind of, it's a kind of, in a way, it's quite a middle-aged song, because it's a friend who lost a parent, and then you don't have the luxury as a grown-up when you lose somebody to just kind of lie around and mope and cry about things. He had to do all the, you know, his part of the practical work to have a funeral and, you know, sort out estates and stuff like that. And, you know, so that song dealt with something different. And, you know, but I feel like the atmosphere in my head surrounding my last relationship, you know, it does permeate the album. So that's basically what it's all about.
Well, at least you've stuck to your brand of being the company that writes sad songs. So
yeah, although
but
I mean,
they don't sound that sad. Like,
yeah,
if you listen to the words, you can kind of tell, but they don't sound as sad as you make them sound talking about them.
yeah. Well, I like that juxtaposition. I don't want music to go at a funereal pace. I like, you know, and I like jollity. I mean, a song like Hastings Out of Season, the music, if you just listen to it musically, you go, oh, this is quite jolly. And then the lyrics, I actually nearly couldn't put that song on the album, because the lyrics just came out. I pretty much improvised the lyrics, and you know, recording into a dictaphone and singing along. You know, it's like there's a nice tune, and the lyrics. Sometimes I just kind of make noises while I'm trying to write the tune, but in this case, the words came out, and then I listened back, and I went, "Oh my god, that's horribly miserable." But you know, it works. It works, and the kind of joining some fairly negative sounding lyrics to essentially, you know, quite a jolly tune. It's interesting. It's an interesting artistic juxtaposition, using that word for the second time in mere moments.
Wow. Oh my god. Wow. I don't even know what the word means. So, to brighten the mood slightly, what have been some of the highlights of all of the lockdowns for you? Because I know it's been a bit crap, but when I say a bit, I mean a lot crap. But there's probably good things in there somewhere. What?
Well, you put me on the spot now, because if I was being interviewed by anybody else, I would answer this instantly and honestly. But if I do that with you, it sounds like I'm sucking up. because you came to stay
It was
for a while.
it was when I stayed.
You came back from university because everything was shut. And you stayed for a while. Initially, you were like, "Yeah, I'm going to be here a couple of weeks," and then it was like 4 months or something.
Living off 6 days worth of stuff for that entire 4 months. It was fun.
A lot of laundry, but I mean, that was good. I've been very determined in looking after myself physically, so I'm running much further than I ever have done before.
How far?
I did a half marathon just yesterday. Distance, you know that because I already told you, but thank you for the prompt.
You're welcome.
I don't know. Apart from that, I can't pretend it's been a particularly positive time. But you know, I'm okay. I'm surviving. I have my health. There's lots of people who are struggling more. So let's not complain too much.
I have actually run out of questions.
Okay. Well,
that was the last question.
You're nearly running out of time anyway. I'm very proud of the album. This has made anybody want to go and find out about it. It's on Spotify and Apple Music and all that to go and listen to it, and you can buy it in all the normal places. And I steer people towards Bandcamp because it's better for artists. But hell, I would like anybody who wants to go and check it out and enjoy it, or not. You know, if you don't enjoy it, that's fine too. If you're looking for something that sounds like Napalm Death, it's probably not going to float your boat.